Thank you, Mr. Stefanec, and thank you all for the opportunity to present to you today. It's a pleasure to be here. My role at Mastercard is that of Head of European Acceptance and Government as part of the Market Development Europe team. And the importance of SMEs cannot be understated when it comes to the interaction that Mastercard has with SMEs across Europe. We heard there about the 99%, and from our perspective, what we look at always is the numbers of SMEs and those SMEs, how they play out in terms of the activities and interactions that they have in the markets that we serve. So 23 million SMEs generated 3.9 trillion euros in value added and employed 19 million people across the EU 28. I'm sure we'll hear more from our other speakers about some of the statistics. But from a Mastercard perspective, as we look at growing acceptance locations and really enabling those SMEs in the digital revolution, we look at them on the basis of what can we do more, where can we educate, and where can we advance their business and support them in the delivery of goods and services. I think it's fair to say that not many SMEs wake up in the morning thinking too much about payments and how those payments are going to be operated. But it's actually the backbone of their business. And what we've found within our Mastercard education approach is the more that we come out and speak, groups like this, to chambers of commerce, and to other organisations who really understand SMEs, and to SMEs themselves, they start to realise the benefit of accepting electronic payments and digitalising their business. A couple of stats for you. We've worked with a couple of grocery stores, local small stores, in Europe, where we've actually terminalised their business, we've enabled their business, and what we've started to see is a significant increase in sales volume. Why is that? What was happening there, no great surprise, is that consumers were then using cards, making payments, and actually spending more, not having to worry about the cash in their pocket to make the purchases. So again, those increases were significant. But it's not just an increase in volume of transactions and size of ticket value. There's other benefits as well. A reduction in cash handling fees, a reduction in fraud. We have a great example of a beautician of all things, that had a 10% fraud. They would actually be never collecting payment from their customers, their loyal customers. What they'd be doing is they'd actually be invoicing and expecting payment next time. And the beautician had a 10% fraud rate, where people just wouldn't be coming back next time. So we enabled them to take electronic payments. It was a payment once the beautician treatment was done, and all of a sudden the fraud disappeared. Very simple example, but these are the types of SMEs that we're looking to work with and we're looking to partner with. We also are the gateway to the internet for many businesses. Selling online for many businesses across Europe is only a pipe dream. They don't actually think about it as a key priority. What we've worked on within Mastercard is some solutions specifically for that, and I'd like to talk to you those a bit later on through the presentation. So it's obviously of key importance, and what we try and say within our world is where we can bring in small merchants into the banking sector and the inclusion approach, there's a real benefit, and there's real benefit for us. So what do we do within Mastercard to help SMEs become digital? So let's start with innovation. Continuous product innovation requires capital, and regulation cannot continue to impact on the need to drive revenue needed to invest in innovation and development. We've got to balance the messaging here. So we focused on working with our customers and partners to understand the needs of SMEs, and it's a real outside-in approach. We're not preaching, we're not selling down solutions. What we're doing is understanding needs and putting the most appropriate products and propositions in front of our customers. Probably the thing I'm most proud of in my time at Mastercard, and I've been in this role over 5 years now, was the work we did on mobile point of sale. So many of you will understand traditional point of sale, either the coffee that we got across the street before we came in this morning, or the store last night that we made our purchases for our dinner. There's a terminal that sits on the counter, it's a fixed terminal, and we made our payment and we went. For many businesses, those fixed terminals just didn't work. They were a mobile business, they were an electrician, they were a plumber, they were on the road, or they were of such a size and scale where it didn't really warrant making an upfront payment and then regular payments for terminals. So working with our partners in the industry, we developed mobile point of sale technology. And this is something which Mastercard has very much developed a lot of the rules and regulations about how point of sale on a mobile basis works. So when you hear me talk about MPOS, that's mobile point of sale. And often that's the first gateway for SMEs to accept card and electronic payments. It's very, very simple. Every SME pretty much nowadays has a mobile phone in their pocket. What we've looked to do is enable that point of sale device. So you turn your mobile point of sale into, quite simply, a fixed terminal. We add on electronic keypad, we can add on contactless functionality, we can turn that very much into a space which they are enabled to take payments in whatever scenario and situation they're in. What we've then done is made that device exceptionally cost effective. So we've brought down the cost, we've taken out the need for magstripe, we've taken out the need to have any contact element which is going to be over and above a cost approach. So you're now looking at those terminals being in the market for around 80 euros. What we've done at Mastercard is subsidise those with many of our partners to be able to deliver those into the hands of SMEs. What we're now looking to do is take it to the next level and actually move away from having keypads. Pins can be entered directly onto mobile devices, or we can actually have phones themselves becoming contactless receivers. So this is a really exciting physical digital approach that we're looking to take for many of the SMEs that we're going after in Europe. And we are accepted at around 15 million locations today, and there's around another 11 million SMEs who still are in that space of not accepting electronic payments. But innovation is expensive, we appreciate that, and we need to invest in that innovation in the most appropriate way. What we've also done is started to recognise the needs of SMEs in the digital space. So for those who work through with e-invoicing, with accounting software, again, all of those day-to-day elements that you as an SME have to do, and it takes time, effort and energy, and often it's on the weekends or it's extra time when you're not actually with your customers. We've developed something called Simplify Commerce. And Simplify Commerce is, funny enough, there to simplify their business. It gives them a full suite of services, it enables them to accept electronic payments online, but it also gives them the full ability to do analytics on their business. It allows them to understand exactly who their customers are, who owes, who doesn't owe, and how they can actually drive analytics to run their business more effectively. And this is something that increasingly we're working with in the online world, as we need the full service approach as many physical businesses go digital and go online. And the final area is one which we're just on the cusp of launching right now. We're calling it SME 360. And SME 360 is looking to really enhance and enable a lot of what we've done in the MPOS space and build out an app which will allow not just the accepting of payments, but also the making of payments. So we're actually working through on that functionality. We're going to be enabling that with prepaid card functionality as well. And what you'll be able to do with SME 360 is both buy and sell and do the full range of account servicing. So again, more to come on that, and this one that we're very excited about, and we're very keen to talk to many of those SMEs out there in the European market. One final area that I do want to touch on is investment. If I look at the investment needed for innovation, it's obviously significant. We're looking at it and we're trying to expand the ecosystem from a European perspective. We allocate funds specifically for SME support. It's a real growth area. We do see the benefit of that. We like to think ourselves in the payment space as the champion of SMEs. And that's something that many of the promotions that you will see and run by partners out in the marketplace are funded by Mastercard. And the final word is on competition. So if I look at how, as an SME, more than ever before, there are multiple product offerings and services that will enable you to take payments, to be able to manage your business and run your business both physical and digital. And predominantly in the digital space, that proliferation of competition is coming from banks, it's coming from new payment partners, and new solutions are being developed and launched every month. It's a very crowded market. We believe this market is already competitive, and for an SME who just wants to focus on selling their goods and services, often the array of services available is actually bewildering. So this is why we focused our digital solutions at Mastercard on SMEs that serve their needs, support their business, and allow them to thrive. I look forward to the debate after the other speakers. Thank you.